Oh man, I discovered this song on the way on my jogging, and it was amazing. It was like a worship song, but rock and like orchestra. Oh, just so beautiful. Really God's creation on that one. All I need is gone back on me now. I started putting milk in my coffee, like my actual good, like machine coffee, not the water with the, you know. Put a little bit of sweet, just a little bit of sweet, and it tastes so good. But like after breakfast, after I've done my morning routine, bam, dude, just hits perfectly. Okay, listen. This is way too crazy to not document, okay? I'm gonna post this everywhere. All right, so I just got my first Bible. Yes, my first Holy Bible. Now, this is so crazy because of one specific thing that happened today. And so I'm meditating, right? I meditate for 30 minutes a day, and it's like a prayer, especially now because I'm doing monk mode, so I'm dedicating to really, really connect with God. And so I'm holding this new Bible, right? It's not open, it's just closed. I'm holding it. And at the very end, I'm asking God to guide me to the truth. Okay, because obviously, as you know, for a new follower of Christ, there's a lot of churches, a lot of places where I can end up, right? And I'm asking God, guide me through this world of so many different versions of this, of that, of this is the way, show me the truth, God. And so I'm doing that thing that everybody does on TikTok, right? Where they just like, you know, when they land on a verse or something. And so I did that. And I landed towards the very back, actually, and it was telling me to go to Matthew 24, verse 24. And so I go to Matthew 24, verse 24, and it says this: "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." Let me tell you why this is so crazy. I just had 2 Mormons in my apartment. Great guys. But the fact that we were over here discussing the Book of Mormon, Joseph Smith, and this is the first verse that I read. This is a brand new book. That is the first verse that I read. You can say it's a coincidence all you want, but the timing is too perfect, bro. Too perfect. Wow. This is insane. God is good. I just had a great interaction with this girl. God told me to talk to her, and she wasn't on her phone. She was just kind of enjoying the fresh air along with a joint. And so I just approached her. She was a little put off by it at first, but I think I disarmed her pretty quickly. And it was a very heartwarming experience. And of course, I opened her mind a little bit. I planted the seed of Jesus. And, you know, it's not going to be instantaneous, but if I can plant a seed, I will plant a seed. Me encanta ese gorrito, hermano. Buenas tardes. Hello, everyone. Buena, gringo. That's me. Hola. Hola. ¿Cómo estamos? Que tengan una buena noche. So this is the crowd for the workout session. Can I get a woo? All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, we're walking. It's getting dark now. It's getting a little bit crazy. What's up, guys? Mira, ¿cómo son los ejercicios a esta hora? ¿Mejor que de las mañanas o cómo?
Mejores que la de la mañana. Bueno,
¿Por qué? ¿Porque se pone más peligroso, más dangerous?
Así, hombre, aquí con el frío.
Uno no se ve a esta hora, mira. Bueno, ¿y ustedes están haciendo calistenia, me imagino?
Sí, hermano.
Buena. Very good, miren. Se ve súper concentrado el hermano. Very concentrated.
Toma, dale.
Very good. A ver, mira. All right, we're gonna get this guy. Here we go. Buena. A ver la invertida. Just kind of wanted to come out in the sand for a little bit, because check this out. You know, it's great. This Osmo Pocket has great exposure at night. You can see the city, you can see the boats. Hell, you can see me. I thought there was a dog about to come over here and swipe my camera. I got a little confused and distracted on that one. I'm just grateful, man. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Sometimes I wonder why I didn't come to Jesus sooner and how much better my life would be if I just came to Jesus sooner. But it wouldn't have had the same outcome. Like, everything that happened was supposed to happen. And if it didn't happen, if I would have just made myself come to Jesus sooner without really having the reason, the why, then it would be weak faith. And it would be, I would still be lost because it wouldn't be real. So everything has its time, and you can't force someone to come to Jesus. You can only plant the seed. And I had a lot of seeds planted inside of my brain and my heart until eventually I shattered, and the only way I could pick them up is through Jesus Christ. Hola! Look, I timed this perfectly as soon as the puppy comes. Hola! 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 Hello, doggy poo. Está bonito. ¿Cómo se llama? Loco. Rojo. Rocco. 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 Hola, Rocco. Hola, Rocco. Hola, Rocco. Well, we did it. Week 1 completado. And it was...
Yeah, it sounds like it was really intense.
Can you shut up, ChatGPT? Anywho, all right, now that it's just you and I, here's what happened, okay? So my plan was this. I had a very structured day, because that's what you're supposed to do with monk mode. You're supposed to have a very structured from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And mine looked like this. 5:30, wake up. 5:30 to 6:45, prayer, journaling, and Bible study. 7 o'clock to 8:30, workout. 9 o'clock to 11:30 p.m., trading analysis and breakfast. 11:30 to 1 p.m., back testing. 1 o'clock to 1:30 p.m., 30-minute meditation, no stimulus. Zeto. Afternoon, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., meal and podcast. 3 o'clock to 4 p.m., reading, Bible, any sort of self-help book. 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m., back testing and practice. 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., walk, 30 minutes. Evening, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., cook and eat, plus podcast. 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., back testing. 8:30 to 9:30 p.m., read. 10 o'clock to 10:30 p.m., journal. 10:45 p.m., bed. Okay. Now, I'm actually very surprised that I got through 95% of what I said on this list. Now, I gotta be honest, because obviously there were some moments where I thought I was being productive, or maybe I wasn't being super productive. For example, when I was having my meals, I would get a little bit lost in the sauce of watching a podcast, and I would end up kind of prolonging my meal because of the podcast. And so I definitely realized that my break time ended up being my biggest crutch time also, because it was the only time of the day where I actually was kind of just mucking around. And that's not even to say when I started getting calls from my friends, and this has kind of been a balance for me because I really do appreciate the time that I do get to talk to my friends and my family. And I think I realized this halfway into the monk mode that I was spending too much time talking to my family and to my friends. So once I started hitting that 1 hour mark on every call, I was like, okay, dude, this is this is a bit excessive, all right? So we got to start confining our time here to a minimum. And now, I do want to mention that every single day, my goal was to be very intentional with how I learned. Learning for me has always been something that has been like a hit or a miss. I mean, the way that I learn is usually by doing, right? So I'll just like throw myself out into the ocean and then I'll just start swimming, right? That's kind of how I've always done life. And there's pros and cons to that. The pros is that, you know, you can learn very quickly. The cons is that you could drown and die. So yeah, that's how I've gone about just about everything in my life. The biggest priorities for this week were God, trading, and health. Okay, and documenting was kind of like the cherry on top because that's why I'm making this video, because it's all documentation. And I'm glad that I did the whole no social media thing for this week, because if I did, well, we all know how that would have ended up. And I realized that life is actually so much more beautiful when you don't get online, like when you don't use the social medias to talk to people, like when you just talk to yourself and God every day, and maybe a few friends here and there that, you know, you actually know, not just people online that are like, oh my God, you know, I have a question for you. Oh my God, like, what are you doing this? Why are you doing that? There's more significance to the things you do because you're being intentional. And I think that's why monk mode has such an upside to it, is because of how intentional you're being. And my life is a lot more organized, and it's probably the most organized it's ever been in this week alone, because I made a decision to do only a few things and nothing else. And that's the problem with today's world nowadays, is you have so many different things and everybody's just so distracted. And I used to think I was the only one that had ADHD, but it turns out that the whole world has ADHD now. And the only cure to it is to just leave it all and just focus on what's important. Focus on health, wealth, faith, relationships. But I definitely had some hard days in this. You know, thankfully, I got used to waking up at 5:45 in the morning. Actually, I started waking up earlier than expected because for some reason my body just started waking up. I mean, maybe it was because I was drinking a lot of tea the night before that I couldn't hold it at 5 o'clock in the morning, so that was just the time that I was waking up. It's been an incredible week, to say the least. Incredible week. I mean, I've done my laundry, you know. I did all my white shirts. I put vinegar and baking soda in there. It's magic for white shirts, if you wanted a tip. Patience for me has been a very big struggle in my life, and I feel like something that could really help you guys if you also struggle with patience. Now, you don't have to do it the way I did it, but I grabbed my Bible, went into a dark room. Oh my God, Diego, how are you supposed to read the Bible in the dark? You don't, all right? I just sit there and I hold it, all right? Because I'm sitting there for 30 minutes, no stimulus, no stimulus, just purely meditating, focusing on God, focusing on everything, you know? But I think the main thing was focusing on God. And then my mind kind of started bouncing around that as I got deeper into it. But I also noticed something. And I noticed this when I was meditating. I think it was the second night. I found myself struggling a lot. Because the first few times it was all right, you know, like it was chill. I think I like got into a trance a little bit, maybe like 10, 15 minutes into it. I was getting into like this like flow where just my brain was just expanding. And the third night I was really kind of struggling with it, and I felt like I was conscious the whole time. And ironically, but this time I was extremely conscious. Like I felt every second go by and I felt so uncomfortable. But I realized that the way through anything is to go deeper into it. Not to try to escape it. Not to try to pray that the pain will go away. Not to pray that the uncomfortableness will go away. But that you immerse yourself deeper into it. aside from everything I got from this week, I want to bring it down to one very important thing: simplicity. Simplicity is the key to your growth. The more complicated you do for anything that's just has a series of steps and steps and steps that are just too much, throw those out the window. Focus on simplicity. Focus on fundamentals and basics, because not only have I learned that in trading, the only way to become successful with it is if you're focused on the basics. And not only did I realize that if you do that for, your life, you're going to have more growth because you're focused on fundamentals and simplicity, versus how people choose to live every single day, which is how I used to live as well. Like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, and it all becomes a clutter, and you end up getting nowhere. And this is why people choose the escape route 9 times out of 10. But let me be the one to tell you, if you just focus, simplify your life, and ignore all of the noise that's going on in this world today, the news, other people's lives, comparison, all of it, ignore it. Your growth significantly faster. And it's that easy. Wait, quick prayer. Quick. Heavenly Father, I pray that you bless my viewers, you help them, you guide them, you show them the direction to you. And even if they are not believers, I pray that you still guide them through their trenches, through their turmoils, through their challenges, their questions. And if that leads them to you, then beautiful. I so pray it be that way. But if not, and if it requires time, I pray that they still find answers to whatever they're searching for, and that light be shined on their path. Amen. God bless. Whoop, 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 woo, woo. Okay, I'm a little distracted right now. Just a little distracted. It's like Russian roulette with. It's so tempting though. Like they have a face where it just makes you wanna. Makes you want to eat their little face. You just let anything happen to you, huh? You just let it all. You just take it. You don't care. I can just hold you like this.